Well, it's another year, another Tokyo Game Show. It's a classic photo in front of the wall. I'm by myself this year. That's the weird part. Usually I've got the crew, but I'm actually just here by myself this year. So it's a bit interesting from that perspective. Tokyo Game Show is still Tokyo Game Show though. It still has its own sense of, I don't know, I don't want to say Japaneseness, Lamau, but it does. Like, the games here are usually going to be in Japanese. They've gotten a lot better. There are some games that are still in English and all that kind of stuff. It's still busy. Like, we're recording this on a public day, trying to ruin the continuation of it all. But we're on public day, and it is flat out. And it's not even busy as it was earlier. So it just goes to show you that Tokyo Game Show still got chops. Comparing it to Gamescom felt even more squished in than this, but Tokyo Game Show still got its own identity, and it's great to be back. Obviously, it's always great to be in Tokyo, right? We're going to have a look at some games that are here. I'm going to do a little bit of a survival guide if you do come to Tokyo Game Show yourself. So I guess let's go and get amongst it. Well, of course, it wouldn't be a Tokyo Game Show without stopping off at Sega. We've had a chance to go through and play some stuff. We played some Virtual Fighter, we played some Yakuza Kiwami, we played some Sonic, whatever the new racing one's called, I forget, it doesn't matter. But you know what Sonic Race. It's actually really good. As someone who's a little bit disappointed with Mario Kart, I can see why it's a good time to bring out another kart racer. And obviously it has lots of Sega favourites in there as well. There's Yakuza guys, there's Hatsune Miku, there's a few others as well. Virtual Fighter Evo, it's still the most honest fighter on the moon. So if you like your fighters, you like that old school style of 3D fighter, it still plays really, really well. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the new revisions and the new updates to the new game. On top of that as well, we got to play Kiwami 3. Now, as a lot of people know, Kiwami 3 was my least favourite. They fixed my biggest issue. They no longer translate Anarchy as boss, or Anarchy as boss. Made me really mad. They don't do that anymore. They figure, we're talking to weebs, they'll know what Anarchy means, so they do that. And then it's the Kiwami treatment. It's the same basic story. They've added in all these elements, so you've got the different styles of fighting. You've got the, there's collectathons. There's lots of stuff in the new one. There wasn't in the previous one. All your favourites are back, karaoke, the classic stuff that you get out of Yakuza game. So again, Sega, another strong showing. Again, it's one of the old school booths. I'm surprised that it's it's not the biggest one here. It's up there though. Konami's huge this year. And I thought Konami only had Street Fighter, Metal Gear Solid coming out. But I forgot Silent Hill was a thing. What a world, right? But for now, Sega's booth, great, good fun. If you like Sega games, you're going to play them, right? So I don't even know why I'm doing this segment. Why did I just confuse myself with that? Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. So I decided to stop off at the Arc System Works booth, and I know it's the game you've just been waiting for me to cover from Arc System Works. Their newest, latest, greatest title, Double Dragon, Rewrite. What's the other one? Marvel Tokon. Some Marvel game they're making that everyone seems to be talking about. It's very Dragon Ball Z. For those I don't know if there was a beta or if you played it, it's very Dragon Ball Z. It's that same kind of system where you switch between characters, but everyone's got one health bar. So this time around, instead of having the 3 different health bars, like a traditional Marvel vs. Capcom or something like that, you've only got one health bar, but you can switch between. You have one set up as your shooter, one set up as your vertical, one set up as your assault. So it's all different assists that you can call in, and then you can switch into those characters. So I'm sure there's going to be shenanigans galore for those who can do it. Like all Arc System Works games, it gets a little bit combo video. If you get caught out, that's it, you're done. But it's still pretty good, and it looks great. Name an Arc System Works game that does look great, right? The other game we played, Double Dragon. It's a new envisioning of Double Dragon. I liked the one that was on the 360, but I know a lot of people didn't because they don't have taste, and that's okay. Not everyone needs to have taste, but I do. I like that one. I like this one. This is a 3D brawler as you walk across. They're you can bounce enemies off the back, off the front, off everywhere. There's finishing moves. It really, the thing that I liked about the one on the 360 was they had more options. You had defensive options, you had dodges. Whereas the old Double Dragon, as much as they're authentic and classic, there's not really a lot you could do. This changes all of that again. It was really fun. 2 players can just juggle the hell out of people, and it was really, really good. Arc System Works, again, off to an absolute perler. Hopefully, they bring some more cool stuff out as well, and obviously they'll keep supporting Guilty Gear until thing, but keep an eye out for Marvel Tokon and Double Dragon. After what feels like a long absence, from at least in my personal estimation, and I'm sure they've been making Nobunaga's Ambition and a bunch of other stuff, but Koei Tecmo's back, baby. We got Ninja Gaiden 4, we got Neo 3, we've got the new Hyrule Warriors. All they got to do is announce a DOA, and I am fully back on board. But we did get a chance to play Ninja Gaiden and Neo 3. Both, you know what you expect going in, right? You know that Neo's going to be Ninja Gaiden cross Souls. you know that Ninja Gaiden going to be fucking Ninja Gaiden, right? And that's exactly what they are. Cool new mechanics. As always, there's kind of tweaks and twists. You get to play as Yakumo in the Ninja Gaiden demo, who's the new character, and I'm pretty sure Hayabusa has been, I think he's been teased or announced as well. But again, it's that Ninja Gaiden goodness that you like to play, and as someone who likes action games over Souls games, it's always been my preference. So it was great fun. I beat it in 7 shots in Germany, but I'm getting old. I got filtered on this one. I couldn't actually finish it before my 15 minutes were up. So look, I know games journalists, right? Anyway, other one was Neo 3. You want to talk about getting filtered? I've never been a Souls kid anyway, and so playing the boss in that one, I'm just not patient enough for it. So if you like Neo, it plays like Neo 1 and 2 to me. Like, it feels very similar. It's still got that fast motion. It's a little bit more inside, a little bit more engaging than what I've always found to be the Souls games. But it's still that same level of difficult. Like waiting for the enemies. You've got your stamina / fatigue gauge, all that kind of fun stuff. So it's more of the same, but still cool. New protagonist, new world. They've changed the way that you change your style, so you have different. I think I'm going to call it personas, but it's not personas. It's called something different. But it's great. It was really, really good. It's glad to see Koei Tecmo back in the saddle, making some of their own IP again. Really, really excited for these two to come. I'm pretty sure Ninja Gaiden's this year, isn't it? I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that one. But really looking forward to it. KT's back, baby. DOA 7. We're on the DOA 7 hype train. Bring it, please, please. All right, now this is my favorite part of these kind of shows, is finding random indie games that look interesting and just capture your eye. So I'm joined by David from Undercoders. Your game is Dench Attack. Is it Dench Attack or Densha Attack? Do we add the space?
Oh, no, we're still licensed like all together, like Dench Attack.
Dench Attack,
yeah.
Okay. And so, of course, for those who don't know, Densha means train and attack means attack. And
Yes.
so basically the premise of your world is it's post-apocalyptic, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a group of people who have like a kind of a, what would you call, like a Hunger Gamesy kind of like tournament, like shonen tournament of train drivers who do tricks?
Yeah, a little bit like that. It's like in this colorful post-apocalyptic Japan. It's like the different territories are controlled by different gangs.
Yeah.
So like they kind of fight for status in this kind of crazy physics with train sports.
So it's it's a little bit kind of Japanese Mad Maxy, but it's got a little bit Jet Set Radio. It's got a little bit of Tony Hawk's in there. Obviously, the game encourages you to do tricks and stay on the rails. So there's lots of kind of skill checks and stuff. I mean, you've got all these inspirations. Was it hard putting them all together and making it into something you really enjoyed?
It was actually quite easy because I mean it's a process and very iterative, but it's like putting a lot of stuff that we love all together. So we basically started with it's Tony Hawk but with Japanese train.
Yep.
Premise.
Okay, that's
and then we built like all the mechanics on top of that, and then like the setting, and it kind of all came together, you know. Like, what do we love? We love a good shonen. We love like super cool characters, rivals, big bands, like fighting against each other, learning new stuff. You know, like the journey of the hero, getting better, fun family, you know, that stuff. So yeah, it kind of came together.
Yeah, nice. And because that's one thing that does come through. It's stylish, and yet the systems are still in place. Like it's still, because sometimes you can get that where sometimes you focus on style over substance, and it's missing there. But the gameplay loops there as well. So did you find that, like so, as you built up towards it, you brought more and more people on to do the art and the music? Did you look out specific people, or did people approach you? How did that process go?
So we started like from gameplay, like building it up from gameplay. Like I have this crazy idea about a train making.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, like the team was, this looks nonsense. Let's try it, and it was like, whoa, there's a game in here. Yeah. So after that, it's like which aesthetic we go for, and it was like Jet Set Radio. We love Jet Set Radio.
Yeah,
we need colorful stuff. Like let's make it vivid. And after that, we kind of search for the right art team. Like we expanded it to get the right people, and music. It was like, it's super important. Who do we get on board? And once Fireshine signed us as a publisher, we said like, hey guys, we want T. Lopez.
Yeah.
We want T. Lopez, and they were like, yeah, that's a good match. And fortunately, he was on board like really quickly because he liked it, and yeah, it was a great match.
So I've got to ask. You mentioned you're from Barcelona, like, and there's all these Japanese influences. Is like, you know, like the kind of the weeby otaku culture a thing in Spain? Again, having never been there, I have to judge it on your word.
It is. Like anime was, we got like Dragon Ball in the 80s and Captain Tsubasa and all that stuff.
Yeah, the classic
like the 80s kids like myself have grown up with that. So I was lucky enough like to visit Japan in '98 and fall in love with the culture. Then came back, make a lot of friends, work here for a while, you know. So that's more or less how like we've got like this big Japanese influence in the game, and how like after making tons of games, it kind of it came together like a Japanese inspired game. I used to backpack like around Japan with the Japan Rail Pass. It's impossible to do that and not get a love for Japanese trains, you know.
In the days when you could afford a Japanese rail pass, unlike nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
David, when is there any time frame in the game? When's it due to come out?
Yeah, it's coming out spring next year on all platforms. It's coming
spring Northern Hemisphere. We're Australian, so we should play that. Yeah,
and it's coming on Game Pass Day 1 also.
Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome to hear, David. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Looking forward to it. We'll play it next year when it comes out.
Thank you.
So here at the Tokyo Game Show 2025 Indie After Party. Now, as most indie developers would know, it is no simple feat to make a video game. So Tokyo Game Show makes sure that if you're here showing off your game, you are going to be rewarded for that with a lot of free drinks and a lot of free food. It is probably one of the biggest conference sort of run after parties that I've seen. Bear in mind you've got your PAXs, you've got your South Bys, but definitely Tokyo Game Show knows how to put on a bit of a show when it comes to making sure that they thank everyone for coming to exhibit this year. And bear in mind, we're only at the end of day 2 of the business day, so we haven't even hit the main public day, Saturday and Sunday. It's actually Friday at the moment, but the hall is absolutely packed. I'm sure you can see some of the energy behind me. A lot of press here, a lot of indie developers here. I've seen some voice actors from the likes of Metal Gear Solid floating around. A lot of people here that you from the who's who of gaming that have come to basically say hi to each other and have a bit of a chat and batten down the hatches for the storm that is the public days of Tokyo Game Show, which is coming up very, very soon.
I guess the secret strat I really have to let you guys in on is how to survive Tokyo Game Show, because if you do come here, and obviously, you know, newgameplustravel.com, I think it's .com, whatever, it doesn't matter. But basically, if you are going to come to Tokyo Game Show, there's a couple of things you need to keep in mind. Tokyo Game Show itself, Makuhari Messe, is fucking ages away from Tokyo. It's in Chiba. So it's like, if you're from Melbourne, it's like, imagine if it was past Tullamarine. Like, it's that far away. It's ages away. So to actually get here is tough, especially on the busy days, right? You've got there's only one train line. Well, there's 2 train lines, but the one that goes closest is full. The train will be full. I'll get some vision of like later on from my phone. But so the only strategy I would say is twofold. If you're okay with driving in Japan, get your permits, park. There's always parking over there, and there's a shopping center just down the road. You can park there as well. There's a Costco. There you go. Or stay here. There's hotels and stuff around. Just find like a cheap hotel and stay here, because coming in is the hardest bit. Actually getting here is the hardest bit of Tokyo Game Show. The crowd crush, look, take your precautions. If you wear masks in crowds, wear masks in crowd, all that kind of stuff. Just be mindful that it is going to be sardine. There's going to be points where you're walking, you're going to be really, really tinched up. There's not much you can do about it, unfortunately. And I'd say the third thing is, if you want to buy merch or you want to play a particular game, that's the first thing you're doing. You're getting in that door and you're going straight there, because you're going to have to get booking tickets for different games, especially the big game, Capcom and stuff like that. You're going to have to get booking tickets, and they'll say, cool, come back at 1:30 and that's your session. Come back at 2:30, that's your session. That's how it works. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. And you're going to have to do that. But if you want something in the merch hall, maybe do that second. Do that, then go to the merch hall. Plenty of cool stuff like merch for TGS. But they're my big 2 tips. Obviously the trains and stuff in Japan are great, but for this particular line, because it's also the same line as Disney, it's going to get real bad real quick. So I figure, while I've got the sign behind me, right, I might as well discuss it. Microsoft. So Microsoft always go hard at Tokyo Game Show. It's a market that they've never been really able to break, yet they always go really hard here. So they've got a bunch of games on display here. They've got their own merch booth, like Bethesda and Fallout merch exclusively. So they're pushing really hard into this market, and obviously they're trying to sell the whole, this is an Xbox thing, which in the current world is interesting, because, you know, any gaming technology, any kind of technology at the moment going to America, is getting tariffed, it means we're paying for it, as in the rest of the world is paying for American tariffs. So it's interesting to see how hard still after all these years Microsoft still pushes or tries to push it. I mean, Sony's got a huge booth, Capcom, all those have huge booths. Nintendo doesn't even show up because they don't have to. They don't really care. But it's interesting to me always how big Microsoft go, and I wonder if it's eventually going to pay off for them. Like, you know, I mean, like we joke about Microsoft at the moment, but they're still obviously doing okay enough to keep things going. But yeah, I don't know. It's just always one of those interesting things to me. You just go past. There's always a big Microsoft presence here at the show. Let's address some of the controversies around Tokyo Game Show, right? So. Look, the big one's booth babes. People still, booth babes are still a thing here for sure. Like every booth will have it, and especially now that you've got the Chinese markets and all these coming in as well. They don't give it. Western sensibilities don't matter. So there are booth babes on basically every booth. Some of the bigger publishers like Sega and Capcom stuff tone it down a fair bit, and it'll just be like normal T-shirts and stuff like that. But some of these other games, especially out of China, are just running full. Anyway, if that's something that bothers you, that is something you're gonna have to deal with at Tokyo Game Show. So just be fairly warned. The other one is the nature of the lines here. Everyone's used to waiting in lines when it comes to getting to see the game that they want to play, but this one is you'll have to go get a time code and then come back later at that time to do it. So you have to be here early to do that, and then you're here for however long. So like, be ready to put your stuff in a locker, be ready to kind of find a way to mitigate the time that you're going to be spending, because there is going to be a couple hours gap between when you pick up your ticket and when your ticket actually activates. Other than that, it's a crowd crush. It sucks. Like the ability to see all the people spending the money, like, you know, so obviously it's these big publishers and stuff like that. They're the ones announcing the layoffs, they're the ones announcing all of the cuts, and yet they've got the money to spend on the booth because, you know, marketing is apparently one of those things that's almost immune to it. So that's probably the most challenging elements of Tokyo Game Show, outside of getting here, which we've already covered in another segment, which is brutal. But it's still worth it. I think Tokyo Game Show, still with all of its faults, still has a place in the calendar. And I don't know, I think now that COVID's over, people have missed being in the one place, like enjoying this in it. And as much as all the crowds and all that suck as well, it's just, I think people did miss it more than they want to like acknowledge. So, I mean, you're seeing all the people coming out now, right? I can't be completely wrong. And thus ends another Tokyo Game Show for us. I'm done. Like, it's just too much to deal with. I've come on a public day, rookie mistake. I should have known better. But it's great to see Tokyo Game Show still has its own identity. Like, coming from Gamescom, coming from PAX, like next one is PAX for me in 2 weeks. Coming from all these different events, the Game Expo, everything's they've all got their own personality, which is great to see. And I'm really excited that Tokyo Game Show still continues to be Tokyo Game Show, and yet it's like improved. Everything that they've done this year that I didn't like about last year or the year before is improved for this year. So it's really good to see. I'm glad that they're still moving on into the new generation, but still maintaining their own identity. Plenty of great Japanese games on display here. Well, next step for us will be PAX, but by the time you're seeing this, it might be the summer season. So you'll be seeing a bunch of different stuff from myself and Jack over the next few weeks. If you're watching this on the internet, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow all the silly stuff that you're supposed to say at this point. We'll see you next time.